Hello and welcome to Waiver Wire. Yes, I'm Ross the Boss. I'm coming to you live from La La, California, and I have the best sidekick a man can imagine. Flat to the bone, Casey Scheinfeld. Yes, he's here today. He's going to talk football. He's going to talk injuries. He's going to talk about waiver wire pickups. He's here. I'm excited. This is going to be a great segment. Casey, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ross. It was a heck of a weekend. Not exactly what a Giants fan wanted to see. You had the high and low all at once. You had Jackson Dart come in and have an electric debut, and then you had the low of Malik Neighbors blowing out his ACL. He's gone for the year, and you thought that was bad. Then you saw Tyreek Hill's knee injury, and I don't know if you saw it on TV, but that's one of the nastiest things you're ever going to see. His leg was pointed the wrong way.
And like 5 different ligaments are damaged. I mean, it could be career ending. I mean, he has a long road ahead of him.
Yeah.
Better. He is he's a tough guy, but he's old. He's not like a young guy like Neighbors. There's a big difference. Nope. But your Giants did win. Cam Stadhu was unbelievable. He is
that Arizona State guy.
People were saying, "Oh, he's not big enough. He's not fast enough. He's a slow guy from Arizona State." All that stuff is BS. You know what? His mentality and the way he approaches the game is a different level.
Yeah, his heart is just different. The way he competes. So,
and your Giants start look great. I mean, the starting quarterback. That's what the Giants needed. They needed.
I just think it was funny. I don't know if you noticed, but there was one play where he went down off a run, and he stayed down for like an extra second, and he got called off the field by the independent neurologist guy because they wanted to check him for a concussion, even though he wasn't even hit in the head. So he goes off the field. Russell Wilson has to come in for one play. Holds the ball too long and gets sacked. It's just like it's Russell at his best.
He's great holding the ball and getting sacked. That's what he does best. That's why I was shocked when the Giants signed him, but I guess they wanted somebody there to take the snaps in the first few games. Casey, more injuries. I mean, Lamar Jackson.
Oh my, yeah.
I mean, he was taken out of the game. I don't know if he's playing next week.
They're saying he's definitely out 1 week and likely up to 3. I heard.
Who's the backup now in Baltimore? I didn't
if you remember Hard Knocks when it was in Dallas, it's Cooper Rush.
Ooh, he's an average good backup quarterback.
Yeah, no, I mean, it might actually increase the value for the Zay Flowers, Rashard Batemans of the world, because it'll have to be more of a play action pass sort of offense. So you can expect a heavy dose of, I think they play Houston. A heavy dose of Derrick Henry or Keaton Mitchell, and then some of those play action passes. So who knows?
Defense.
But Brock Purdy, they're saying, is dealing with turf toe himself.
Brock Purdy,
but he's only questionable. They're still hoping he can get out there.
Ricky Pearsall did not practice either on Monday.
I don't know if Juwan Jennings did either.
Juwan Jennings did not practice Monday. So the key injuries for fantasy, this is stuff that we'll talk about coming up on Waiver Wire. Casey, who do you like picking up this week, and include all the injuries that are happening? Because I know our cover guy is going to be the big guy to pick up this week, but there's some sneaky little waiver wire guys that I like.
Yeah, there's some ones I like.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. Casey, who's your number 1 pickup this week?
Oh, by number 1, that's a tough question. I would probably,
if you're on your computer and this guy under 50% or 60%, what do you want to do? This guy's available. He'll be like your waiver wire 1. You know what I mean?
I'm going to name. Wow, I think it's got to be Woody Marks, our cover guy. Okay. But I'm also a big fan of Malik Washington.
Tell me why. He plays in Miami, correct?
Right, and he's kind of the replacement for Tyreek Hill, so he might immediately walk into that part of the offense, and we know that short intermediate passing routes with run after the catch stuff is what he excels at and what Tua excels at. They're going up against Carolina next week. I just think if he moves into the starting lineup, he becomes as effective as Tyreek Hill has been this week, certainly this season.
I like that philosophy, actually. I think he'll fill in really, really well. Casey, I also have Malik Washington. I feel that he's going to be a pretty good standout this week with Miami. I think they'll be throwing the ball. Another guy that's been showing a lot of promise and getting better every week is Kendra Miller of the Saints. He scored a touchdown against Buffalo last week.
Yep.
And, and the Saints, the Saints, I know everybody says they're so bad and they're not that great. They played Buffalo really well, and I don't see them losing every game. And I think Kendra Miller and Kamara are going to share handoffs.
Yeah, I don't think at Kamara's age he can be the 70 to 75% of the snaps kind of running back anymore. So I think Kendra Miller's pretty safe to get some playing time there.
And he's available in like 95% of the leagues. Somebody else that I like, but he has a bye week. I mean, obviously, I think Jordan Love's favorite receiver in Green Bay is Romeo Doubs.
Well, certainly in the red zone, it seems that way.
Yeah. I mean, he had 3 touchdowns at Dallas.
Yeah, and that's a good point you made. The Falcons, the Bears, the Packers, and the Steelers are all on a bye this week. So there are some players that if you need to play this week, he wouldn't be my waiver wire priority this week, because if I need somebody to replace Malik Neighbors, I need somebody to play this weekend.
Yeah, so exactly. Casey, who else? I have a feeling you might say a name that your heart is with next, and I'm not going to say it.
I'm assuming you're leaning towards Jackson Dart.
No, Wan'Dale Robinson of the Giants.
Oh, Wan'Dale. Wan'Dale's already the number 2 receiver there.
Right.
I was leaning towards Darius Slayton, to be honest, because he's more of that that guy who moves down the sidelines for you and can make those contested catches. So he would be the one who's going to probably get the biggest boost from Neighbors' absence, although I don't love it. And somebody else who might become their deep threat guy now with Neighbors out is Jalen Hyatt, the old speedster from Tennessee, the second-year receiver. So those are 2 very deep. If you're in a very deep league, those are 2 guys I'd look for. But I'd still prefer to get
Wan'Dale.
I'd still rather get Malik Washington. Marvin Mims has been getting a bigger and bigger role. I like Alec Ayamanor in Tennessee also. So
yeah, I brought him up last week. I mean, I like him, but Tennessee is so bad, Casey. I mean, oh my. I mean, they were shut out last week, right? By Houston. Is that correct?
Yeah.
They didn't score a point last week against Houston. But usually when a team doesn't score the following week, they have a big week. So I had that with Atlanta. I said that last week about Atlanta being shut out by Carolina. And then this week they poured it on. And that's like a natural thing in the NFL. If a team gets shut out away and their next game's at home, that home team's going to win big. So if you bettors out there, will follow that trend with me, because it's been pretty well the past few years when I do that stuff. Casey, who else?
Well, how about Darren Waller last night coming out of nowhere with
I was going to ask you
touchdowns.
What do you do with Waller?
Look, I like him. I put him as a sleeper or value pick.
I mean, I had a friend that bet the Darren Waller 2 touchdowns last night. I'm not kidding. He put like $10 on it and he won 600. It was 60-1.
Right.
And he told me about it before the game. And I can't bet in California. It's against the law, whatever. But this guy's in New Jersey. And I said, that's a crazy bet. And he bet it and won. I was like, shocked.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, because he still only had 3 catches on 4 targets. It's just happened they'd be in the red zone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He's a touchdown dependent guy. If you're in a,
I mean, he's a big target. He's 6'6". I mean,
if you're in a PPR, Brenton Strange might be better. Mason Taylor looked really good for the Jets last night.
I agree.
So at the tight end, that's something I'd be looking at. Isaiah Bond, the speedster out of Texas, who went undrafted because of the legal proceedings he was dealing with, which since ended, had 3 catches for 58 yards on 6 targets for Cleveland this weekend. And so he's getting into there, especially with Cedric Tillman likely out because of his hamstring.
Another injury, Cedric Tillman.
Isaiah Bond is one of the fastest guys in the NFL. And Joe Flacco has a big enough arm, maybe he just heaves it and Isaiah Bond runs under it. So that's somebody else I like. And if Jaden Daniels isn't in, Marcus Mariota hasn't done a bad job, but they're going up against the Chargers this week.
The Chargers lost last week, I think. Where's that game? Is that in LA or is it
It's in LA. I think the Chargers are a 2.5-point favorite.
I'm going to go to that game. I like both teams. I might go to that game.
Hopefully Jaden Daniels is back.
Yeah, they need him back. But like you said, Mariota's not bad. Their defense is just awful in Washington. Horrible.
Tackling is not their strength.
Let's talk Tampa Bay, Casey. Bucky Irving.
The walking wounded.
I mean,
Bucky Irvin's hurt too.
I mean, Sean Tucker could be an ad in some deeper leagues. I mean, Rashad White, we all know, but they always
went to a great school. Rashad White.
Yeah, another Arizona State running back. There's a trend there.
Yeah. I also think Chris Rodriguez could be a worthwhile ad in Washington.
I just hate that three-headed snake they have in Washington.
I hate it. Yeah, I don't want any part of it. But if I'm desperate with injuries or a bye, he's at least going to get some carries.
And then Joe Mixon, supposedly the reports today and yesterday, not even close. Not even close.
Yeah, I read that too. How crazy!
I mean, it's like usually they say oh yeah, he's a couple of weeks away. Not even close. Joe Mixon, who I actually drafted in a few leagues like an idiot. Casey, who else? Anybody else we're missing? You talk about tight end.
The only other guy, if you're looking for a running back, he got a lot more play than I thought he would, was Amari DiMercato in Arizona. He was on the field for almost 40% of the snaps last week. I don't know how much he's going to be used, but again, these are desperation plays. All right. Do you start Spencer Rattler over Brock Montana, even if Purdy does play?
So let's discuss that. That's a good question. Who said that question?
That was the Smitty.
Smitty, great question. San Francisco plays. They play what, Thursday night? Is that right?
San Francisco is Thursday night.
San Francisco plays Thursday night against the Rams. Rams are at home. So I like the Rams defense. I'm worried about Brock Purdy and his big targets. Pearsall's hurt. Jennings is hurt. Kittle's out for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't have much confidence. The Rams are playing really good football. And
the Giants are not the most imposing defense.
No.
And the New Orleans is home against them. So actually, as ridiculous as it sounds, Smitty, I probably would play Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, when teams are winless or not doing well, they throw the ball generally a lot more. They have nothing to lose.
And both their backs are receiving backs.
Yeah, and they have Olave. I mean, they have some good receivers.
Yeah, they have Rashid Shaheed, Olave, Juwan Johnson. So
yes, right. I would start. As much as I love to say it, I love to start Rattler. I like that guy. I like Rattler.
Frizzy, how you doing? Welcome. Isaiah Bond might be a sleeper pickup. Yep, I just mentioned him a few minutes ago. I think he had 6 targets, caught 3 of them, 50 some odd yards. Cedric Tillman's hurt, so I agree with you. That's a good call. I would certainly put him in my top 4 or 5 wide receivers on the waiver wire this week.
Casey, there's some bye weeks. I have to pick up a defense and drop a defense this week in a few of my leagues. I have Green Bay and a couple. I'm looking at the matchups. I did pick up the Colts. They're playing the Raiders. I think the Raiders are a mess. The Raiders quarterback throws so many interceptions. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing, actually. So I like the Colts defense this week they're at home against the Raiders. I also like Arizona's defense at home against Tennessee. I think both these defenses can score off these really bad offenses. And I'm telling you, a lot of people have Pittsburgh's D. A lot of people have Atlanta's defense, who's pretty good, and a lot of people have Green Bay like I have. So if you need defense, I know some leagues don't have defense, especially what we do, Case. Sometimes we're in a league right now that we don't have any defense or a kicker, which I love.
Thank God.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I also have Minnesota this week going against Cleveland's not a bad pick for defense.
No, anytime Cleveland plays, you know what I always think I always think Joe Flacco is going to throw an interception like every game. I mean,
Yeah.
he just goes back there and he wings it. But Flacco's good. I don't have anything against him. He just turns over the ball a lot.
All right. So start 2 running backs, Travion Henderson, David Montgomery, Trey Benson, and Woody Marks.
Well, Woody Marks, I would say for sure, correct?
I would probably do David Montgomery. Who's Detroit playing?
Detroit's playing. I was looking at that's why I was looking at my phone. Detroit's away, but they're in Cincinnati, who has a horrible defense.
All right. So I would go with probably Montgomery and Woody Marks. Then it would be Henderson. Then it would be Benson.
Okay, but Benson,
He's banged up.
He's a little banged up, but I think he's going to play. They're at home against Tennessee, who has a horrendous defense.
I know. I'm just saying.
Those are good choices you have, though.
Those are good ones. All right.
I would just check, like you said, Benson, if he's hurt or not playing, of course you don't play him, so you got to keep up with him. But
would you go with Isaiah Bond over Darius Slayton? And I'm assuming he means Malik Washington. Yeah. I need a plug-in bye-week receiver.
Let me just check. I wish it. Miami is playing Carolina. Their DBs are horrible.
Miami's playing Carolina. The Giants are playing New Orleans, and Cleveland's playing Minnesota.
I would start Malik.
I would probably go Malik Washington too, because even when Miami is in a positive game script, their game plan is their short passing game is as much part of their run game as anything. And so I think target-wise, Malik is probably the safest bet of all of those.
I like Malik too. I think Malik is going to have a big game against Carolina. How about that? Big game. Big. And you'll be doing the waddle dance. Show the waddle dance real quick. He'll be scoring a touchdown. There you go.
Yeah, he's become the alpha now there, so that's great. All right, so anybody we missed before we get on out of here?
Well, we talked defenses. We talked tight ends. We talked receivers.
I refuse to talk
I know
kickers.
You talked about Dart. I like the Dart pickup. Any other quarterbacks you're looking at that are?
Well, Tua, I think, is actually a pretty worthwhile pickup if you're desperate because of an injury situation and a bye week situation. He had 2 touchdowns last night, 100 and not a lot of yards, like 200 yards or 180 yards, but they didn't need a tremendous amount.
No.
As long as he's getting the ball out quick. Do I like the Cardinals defense or the Browns defense?
Cardinals at home against Tennessee.
Yeah, I'd go with the I
love Cam Ward. I loved him at University of Miami. I love the guy, but he's not
ready yet. I actually streamed the Texans defense this past week, and they shut out the Titans. So that went well. Yeah, I would go with, although you can't go wrong with the Browns against Carson Wentz. The guy throws 2 to 3 interceptions a game. I own Juwan.
Yeah.
There's no need to drop him for Damon Waller or a stranger.
Watching that game with Carson Wentz reminded me why he doesn't have a first job with any NFL team.
Why would you drop Juwan Johnson? He's, to me, I wouldn't drop him for Darren Waller or Brenton Strange. No, I think Darren Waller had a good game last night, but it was only 3 catches. 2 just happened to be in the end zone. It's a little fool's gold if you're chasing what happened last week in that respect. I like Brenton Strange. I like him a lot moving forward. But Juwan Johnson is the number 2 option in New Orleans right now after Chris Olave. And Spencer Rattler is going to be throwing the ball a ton. So I would not want either of those over Juwan Johnson, if you ask me.
I agree 100%. I like what you're saying. And they have a London game this week. Then we'll leave. I just want to talk about the London game. It's Sunday at like 6:30 in the morning. It's the Browns in Minnesota.
Yep.
I hate this game for fantasy players. I hate it unless you start a defense. This is going to be like a 15-10 game, and this game is going to be ugly and bad.
It could be bad, yeah.
And if you're better,
I'm actually benching Jordan Mason just because nobody runs on Cleveland well. So
I would say, fantasy-wise, stay away. It's going to be it's an ugly game. It's going to be very low scoring. Any of you bettors out there like to bet the over-unders, you know what I'm talking about. I wish we had time to go over the games, but we can do that Thursday with Dr. Dan Ratner.
We'll do it Thursday, man.
Okay, so Casey, we'll be. If you guys have any more questions, we'll be back on Thursday at 1:00 Pacific, 4:00 Eastern with Dr. Dan Ratner. Right now, he's working on everything going on fantasy wise right now, and looking at all the games he's studying. He's unbelievable, this guy. But we'll be back then, so please watch us, tell your friends, and we'll if you have any more questions, you can always text us or email us. There you go.
Okay. All right, my friend. You have a good couple days, and I'll see you on Thursday.